Dr. Stone.
The author is still trying to make Taiju relevant.
Okay, in what way this week, Thurman? Which way?
So, like, because it's so funny.
Because he's the best friend?
They're like, yo, I've never seen a blatant, like, shit so bad than that.
I love that you've taken the shitting on Taiju joke for... I wasn't even going to do it. I wasn't even going to do it this whole video because I just love this fucking flashback. But no, Thurman has jumped on the shitting on Taiju.
We haven't been on Taiju in a minute, bro. Like,
it's been a bit. It's been too long since we've shit on Taiju.
I like him. I like him now, you know. But it's just like, you know...
It's a running gag. You got to keep it going, yeah.
It's funny because it's just like the author put it... Because... The author put it so it's trying to put it into our heads that Taiju is clearly Senku's best friend, but
it's not shown in current time. Yeah, it's definitely Chrome. Chrome again, 100%.
You see, bro, like Senku is cheating on him.
This
right
man
now,
has more of a fucking connection with Kohaku than Taiju.
He's openly cheating with him.
Openly cheating. Yo, that is how it feels sometimes, though. As you and I are best friends, you know how it be feeling when, like, you know, your best friend's over in like a different chat for a little too long. It's like, motherfucker, you get back here. How dare you?
Which chat you talking about? The Justice chat?
How dare you have fun without me? Like when I send videos of me hanging out with Andrew, you're like, you motherfucker.
Bro, like. You have to get, bro. Like this is like every relationship. Jealousy doesn't help, bro. You just gotta trust them. You know?
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, I mean, Taiju. You know what? Why are we talking about this? We need to talk about this fucking flashback.
Bro, no. What are you doing, bro? No, you're letting the comments get to you. Like, why do you do that? See, now that's a turnoff. Now we gotta stop this. We got to stop the sex, bro. Get off me. Get your dick out of my vagina. We're done because you stopped. Bro, you're questioning yourself. You're questioning it. It was perfect. We could have easily went through back into the
too much. There's Taiju barely even plays a role. We don't need that.
Bro, doesn't matter, bro. We could easily switch it back. And you were like, I wasn't even minding you. Like, let's talk about the chapter. You were like, bro, why are we talking about this? Bro, what? I am. No sex for you for a minute, bro.
What the fuck? Don't blame me for my fucking being harassed in the comments. Like, I'm the one that reads all of them. I read every single goddamn one. I heart every single goddamn one. I respond to them. Your ass goes in there once a week and responds to one. I don't want to hear it.
Bro, no, are you kidding? This week,
I'm not kidding.
Bro, this week I am taking all the heat from you, bro. I'm ready. I'm ready to come in and fucking destroy everybody. Let's get it. They're ready. They're not ready for me, bro.
Wow. Anyway, this is a good video. I've been waiting for the one to do it. I'll choose this one. I want to give a massive shout out to embarrassing because I forgot the name of the person. Because like now I have their YouTube name in my head. I have their. I'm gonna go with their YouTube name, but I want to give the shout out to the person doing the quote book because that shit's amazing. So you talk about something real quick while I find their name.
So, I really like this chapter was surprisingly wholesome. So I just like the fact that Senku and Taiju, first of all, we shit on Taiju, but I really legitimately like their friendship. It's definitely a friendship of old school cartoon proportions of like super smart kid with his dumb idiot friend, but you know, there's no
but it's done like well, and it like really breaks the typical.
There's no hierarchy between them, right? Like Senku doesn't look at Taiju any less because he's stupid, right? Like because he needs him. Senku is the brains. Taiju is the brawn.
That's something that's really great about Senku. He really does not judge people. Like he has such a ragtag group of motherfuckers, and like he doesn't look down on any of them, including the corrupt cop.
Yeah,
which you know that could be a problem in its own thing.
So what gets me is like, okay, so now there's just like, oh, we're gonna talk to NASA. We're gonna build a rock.
Real quick, I'm gonna jump in here. It's Cara Bell on YouTube. She made the very first piece of Controlled Chaos fan art. It's on our Twitter if you're interested. She's making like quote books of all of our weird quotes, and like, just gotta thank you. I thanked you in Discord already, but like when I saw that shit, it like made me tear up because that's like we've been doing this for a long time, and I never expected like fan art.
Almost 5K.
Say again.
Almost 5K.
Oh my god, like it feels amazing. By the way, hopefully that the 5K will time up with when you're over here, because I know you're visiting in November. Because I want to do some wacky shit. I know Catherine, Andrew's girlfriend, wants to like she's got like good makeup skill. She wants to like paint my face to look like Hisoka, you know, because obviously the Hisoka video is a lot of the reason.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you want to get painted to look like something, just hit her up. You could do white face.
Oof.
Hey, we all know that you can't get in trouble.
Oh no, you know, I'd rather not, just because yeah.
You know I'm trolling. I want to make it very clear.
Oh yeah, I know, but it's just like
Okay.
2020 has been a very weird year, so like
2020 be hitting different, bro. 2020 is the year where you'll get fucking like just something will happen for sure.
Like I'm just waiting for something to happen. So basically.
Anyway. Seriously though, with Dr. Stone.
So I love the fact that like Senku is just like, I don't understand English at all, but I'm just gonna send this long form English to NASA, and all people are just like, oh, we got a message from a boy. He's from Japan, you know. He's Benjamin
It's gonna be cute. Like, how do I make my bottle rocket fly? And it's like, I need a fucking, I need a
long form, right?
Thermal power cooler generator with the.
Because in my thought process, I was just like, because after I kind of overestimated the thing a little bit. I thought they were gonna be like, oh shit, wow, this kid's a genius. But there's just like, is this a prank? Let's just ignore it, you know, like.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I'd probably think that too, honestly.
Because this is like only Dr. Zeno, who's looking mighty sexy, by the way.
Oh my god, I have so much to say about Zeno, but yeah, no, Zeno, I fucking love. Like this is what I want to say about his flashback. I'll let you continue on that, but like this flashback is so fucking good, not only for his character, but like it got me probably more hyped than anything in this series for the past year for the upcoming arc, because now that these two have history and like a very wholesome history, like it makes me so excited for their interactions, because they're gonna butt heads here and it's gonna be so good, like on the level of like when fucking like, you know, Sabo's alive and fucking Luffy's about to meet him again, like, oh, they got history, this is gonna be huge, how are they gonna, like, I can't wait to see them interact. Like it just, this flashback made me so fucking hyped for the arc. Anyway, what you're saying?
So what gets me is like the relationship is
very
so
unique.
So they never met. Well, technically they did.
And answered the main question we had, which we were fucking roasting the author. We were like, how the fuck would Senku not know?
It's really good. So he doesn't know what he looks like.
Because it's just email, and he only went by Dr. X.
Yeah,
so literally the only thing he knew about him was the science is elegant, which is like how he like signed off his emails, essentially.
So it's interesting to me because I'm loving this dynamic, right? Because clearly, right? Because I love it how Senku's dad's just like, oh no, the assistant was just like, so if you were in the prehistoric realm, what would you do? He was like, it's crazy. It's crazy. He's flat out. He was like, I would be a dictator.
Like, I love that moment because, like, literally that. Remember, one of my big questions was this guy made crazy by the circumstances he's living in now, or has he always been like that? Most of the fucking comments last week were like, oh yeah, he obviously the conditions made him crazy. No, bitch. This guy's been a psycho this whole time.
Bro, remember what I said, right? And you were like, well, why was Senku such a... I'm like, Senku's moral compass is questionable, right?
It's true,
so,
and it's funny, too, because, I love this, because in the emails, bro, like, you can see little kid Senku reading these emails, and in these emails, Dr. Zeno's like, no, this is really good, because you can make a ballistic missile out of it, and Senku's like, what the fuck? Like, that's not what I want. I just want to, like, learn shit. Because Senku, and you see the morality perfect here, because we've talked about this a lot. Senku is, like, true neutral. Like, he just strives for gaining knowledge. He's, like, truly just, I want to know all the things. So, like, with Senku's like, I have no interest in ruling over people or making missiles or, like, using science to fucking gain things. No, I just want to know it all. And, like, and then the Dr. Zena's like, you're lost, bro. I mean, you could make a fucking missile.
Yeah, so I'm loving it because Senku legitimately calls Zeno his mentor. Like he has his like it's crazy. So we see like this probably like not a time skip, but we know they probably work together. He probably helped him.
He goes to Africa to study Ebola.
So definitely that him and Zeno clearly have like a master student thing, and like what's great about that too. I love the moment to where like he could say something to Senku, but he doesn't. He just walks up next to him,
so
looks at the rock with him, and then just leaves because he
Literally,
knows.
Can I make a fucking bold claim? Best chapter of Dr. Stone in like the last half year.
I don't know. Senku's dad dying was pretty good.
No, that's why I said half year, baby. I guarantee that wasn't in the last half year. That was like that was like a year ago, I bet.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, Senku's dad dying would have been on the same level for sure. No, this is like, I don't know. This is the most I've felt from Dr. Stone. Not to say I haven't felt, but this is like peak for me. This is so fucking good.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree.
And like you're right, that page where like, oh, it's so good. He walks up, he's like, I'm gonna cry. Like, look at that, it's so good. Like Senku, he's looking at this thing, and like he's been talking to this guy through email since he was like a little child. And this guy is very much responsible for leading Senku down, like continuing this path of pursuing knowledge. So he creates such poetic justice and irony, and he created his own like rival, his own would-be rival now in present time. And like we even see Senku's dad basically says like, oh well, if you find yourself in that situation, there's always going to be people like my son. You know, even in prehistoric times, even there's always going to be people that are knowledge seekers, and they will stop you. And it's so good. And yeah, like anyway, talking more about that moment where he chooses to say nothing. It's like they had a mutual understanding. They both knew, even though neither of them had seen the other person's face. And maybe I mean, and you could extrapolate. Oh no, because again, Senku's dad's not really his dad, right? Even though he does kind of look like him.
Yeah,
I don't know. Either way, I was gonna say maybe he knew because he works with his father, but like either way, neither of them know each other's face. Like it's implied that they've just had this text conversation, and they just have this like moment where they just know, like oh well, here's this foreign kid coming in from out of town, and I know his dad, so that's him. I know I'm gonna walk up and just kind of have a moment. It's so fucking good.
That is just so good, bro. Like, oh my god. Woo! Like this chapter, bro. Like it felt like, because I love the ending scene too. It was just like him, like there are two sides of the same coin, right? And I love it because he's just like, what if you meet someone who matches you in science? He was like, well, shit, it's just gonna be a battle of whose science is more superior, and that's what we're having right now, bro. Like. It's so good.
It's so good. Like I almost can't even put it into words how much this chapter did for Dr. Zeno for me. Like I now love his character. Like because like it's such an interesting character because he's like objectively like shitty but also good, almost like real people, Man, I got some shit in my throat. So like, because you see this with real people all the time, right? Like you could meet there's a lot of people that have like this very dog eat dog mentality. Like, if I see $100 bill on the ground, I'm taking that shit. I ain't returning it. If I see a car, it's unlocked, I'm taking that shit. You know what I mean? And like, that's the vibe I get from Zeno because like, he is nice. Like he was the only person that was like, nah, I'm responding to this kid's email. I'm going to help him. I think that's cool. I see the drive in this kid. I think it's awesome. So he has that niceness, but he's also kind of a realistic character where it's like, think about, because I mean, people have said this. It reminds me, there's a joke in Family Guy about, I just remember there's a clip of like, back in like Jesus's era, and it was like, what if Jesus had like a machine gun, and it was just Jesus like mowing down a bunch of people, and I've heard that hypothetical question before, like imagine if you went back in time, but you had like guns and cars and shit. You really, not only would you be looked at as a god, you could be worshipped and like rule over as a king, and like I've talked to a lot of people like with that hypothetical, and a lot of them do say, and whether or not they mean it or not, I have no idea, but a lot of them do say, yeah, it'd be fun to go back and just like kind of trick them into thinking that I'm a god. You know what I mean? So like what he's saying isn't that far off from like what a lot of people would say, but like the difference here is he's actually seemingly acting on it. So I don't know. It's really interesting, and again, you see it through his emails. I think the emails are the big one. I want to actually read one of his emails here where he's talking about the missile. Where is that page? Yeah, here. Yeah, because he's talking about how science is power. And let's see here. Your little rocket and a ballistic missile are fundamentally the same thing. You could rule over the ignorant masses. So he's the kind of guy who like looks at like people dumber than him as like the peons. And I can't fully blame him because like with certain things that I fancy myself intelligent at, I've found myself going into this level of thinking before. Usually it's politics, because like no matter what you believe politically, if you're like really into it, you look at people who disagree with you as like idiots, like they don't have it figured out, and I'm this genius, and like sometimes I fall into that, you know, because like I truly believe that my worldview is correct, and like some of these idiot motherfuckers, I'm just like, oh yeah. And so like everything he does while fucked up is like within the realm of like understandability. Like I can see a real person like this existing. It's not like cartoonishly villainous. And the fact that his like bad sides aren't like cartoonishly over exaggerated, and his good sides are like really wholesome, it makes him such an interesting character. And like now Senku's that kid that he took a chance on, that he took his time to respond to emails, and when Senku kind of hits him up like, hey, it's me, I'm back, I'm from your past, like that's gonna do some interesting stuff to his psyche probably.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially seeing how they're both like essentially on the even playing field when it comes to smarts right now. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Because I like how they did it now. Because it was now because he's gonna be more shocked because he's like Dr. Taiju. Like,
yo, you're right.
If it was Dr. Senku, he'd probably be like, no, right away. But now that it's like
so genius. That's why the author. This author's a fucking genius. That's why we had the whole Taiju thing, so he wouldn't find out. Oh my god.
I'm playing 5D chess with this manga, bro.
Oh, I'm coming, bro.
I'm coming.
It's so good. Wow. I mean, there's some comedy moments that we can talk about, obviously, like Senku. It's so funny, too, especially now. It's, like, really sad because now that we know, like, you know, his dad, like, dying tragically, thinking of Senku, all the things he did for Senku, you know, putting, like, the records in the graves and all that stuff, and, like, hiding a bunch of stuff for him, like, in the past. The fact that, like, the flashback Senku was like, he's like, oh my god, Senku, did you come all the way here just to visit your dad? He's like, no, I'm just taking your credit card and literally flying back immediately. And at first I thought he was trolling. No, he literally flies back immediately. He went there, he got a flight from Japan to America, took this man's card, and just hopped right back on the plane immediately.
It's actually really, really funny.
It's funny but sad. Like, his dad is so wholesome, and he just wants to spend time with him.
Hey, you really do hate to see it.
Oh my god. So, and by the way, just a fun fact, that means that, American taxpayers are paying for Senku's bullshit right now.
Oh, yeah. American tax dollars.
That is beautiful. That's the kind of shit that like you'd find out in like a WikiLeaks email. Like, oh, like they're fucking grilling NASA. Like it turns, you went over budget this year. It says here that a fucking 10-year-old in Japan. Not only is it a 10-year-old, but it's not our country. How?
Yeah, bro, that's just wild. That's just fucking wild.
I also have a third question. How did this 10-year-old walk to the store and buy this shit? Because this is a flashback. I don't think Amazon, like, Prime existed. You couldn't just Amazon Prime all this shit. So did this 10-year-old just stroll into a store? Did he bring his mom with him, like, and just point at what he wants? Like, Mom, tell him to get that, that, and that. Because I know your ass doesn't know the names of any of these things.
Yeah, that's just...
This chapter got me thinking more than any chapter in, like, the past fucking, like, year. Like, it's so good.
Hey, bro, you really do hate to see it. Woo, that's wild, man. This series always never fails to
so good. Deliver, is that the word you're looking for?
Deliver, yeah, I was gonna say disappoint, but I say that wrong.
But that wouldn't even, you said never fails to disappoint. That would mean it's disappointing every week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I for the longest time I've said that word wrong. I've used that phrase wrong. But now never fails to say it again.
Whatever, man. Never fails to deliver is what you need to say.
Deliver. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
also,
good.
by the way, it's just something I'm realizing now. Senku having his hair like that as a kid is ridiculous. That means this like 10-year-old woke up, fucking gelled his hair every morning. Like that's more commitment than I have to my hair.
Hey, when you have a certain hair like that, it's just gotta,
Like, we've seen Senku before with it down. I'm pretty sure we've seen Senku with his hair down before, right?
We'd have to go back and look.
Oh, I gotta Google it. I'm pretty sure he's, like, been in the water before. Like, I need to see Senku with his hair down, because I'll probably coom. Oh, Jesus
Wait, but
Christ.
to be fair though, with the credit card, he's doing it in yen. So would that mean that
It's roughly the same.
does yen cost more than dollars, or
I don't have my phone on me, but it's usually pretty close to the same. Because if any economy is too different, then people will just like take all their money and spend it that way. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, it wouldn't be a huge difference. If it was a difference, it'd be like a difference of like $10 to $50. Oh shit! Look at fucking hair down Senku. Hold on. Oh my god. The anime just wasn't ready to give us Senku with his hair down. Hold on. All right, let me send you some fucking hair down Senku right now. All right, so oh, you motherfucker. Hold on. He's wanting to like send me a link. Just, you know what? You got Google, right? Google Senku hair down.
Senku with the hair down. I got you.
Look at him. I mean, he literally does just look like a caveman with his hair down. I understand why he puts it up, because it's just long and it's got like the tips that are colored.
The tips.
Also, is that his natural hair? It has to be, I guess, because there's no way he has fucking hair dye. No, and you know what? What am I thinking? It's Senku. He can make hair dye.
Oh, okay, I see.
It's looking pretty good, huh?
Bro, it's already fan art of it. What the fuck?
Of course, bro. You realize how many bitches thirst for Senku? I thirst for Senku.
I'm shocked because I was like...
No, why are you shocked, bro? Like, Senku is thirst.
The anime didn't do that well. That's why I was like, I'm shocked.
Bro. The anime may have not done well, but the manga's doing well.
I mean, yeah, but people
No, there's plenty of manga but you don't understand the amount of fan art I've seen of Chainsaw Man. Like, come on.
Bro, people...
There may not be hentai, but there's a bunch of fucking fan art.
And I've seen maybe one hentai.
There's one Chainsaw Man hentai, yeah. We tweeted it out.
Oh.
It was a beautiful moment.
So yeah, bro, it's just like
No, and by the way, I just want to point this out because we make fun of like yaoi fangirls a lot. Like, typically the type of like anime boys that like these fangirls go after are like the really toxic ones. So like ones that are like objectively shitty people. So I'm actually quite happy that there's people I'm really happy that there are people thirsting over Senku because he's a man who treat you right. He's not looking at you for your body. He's looking at you for your brains, girls.
Shitty people. That's really funny.
Get yourself a man like Senku. Fuck these other, fuck Todoroki. He's not gonna look at you. Todoroki's gonna be the motherfucker that like won't pay attention to you when you're telling when you're telling him about your day at work. He's gonna be like, oh really? Okay.
Hey, bro, shit.
That sexiness will wear off real quick when you realize that he has like no personality.
Yeah.
Todoroki, by the way, that's what I'm talking about.
Multiple characters, but unless that dick is doing some work, then
His personality is like Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, hey, nothing will go over my head. I'd catch it.
It's actually so funny. Hey, bro. Hey, everyone's love their taste. You know what I'm saying?
No, not if they're bad.
they can have their taste.
They can have their takes, but like we can destroy their takes.
Don't be elitist. Okay, they can have their takes.
No, but isn't that the beauty of freedom, Thurman? They can have their shitty takes, and then we destroy them.
Yeah, that's
another
true.
Good quote, by the way. Another good quote. Thank you. Quote book.
So it's just like it's whatever. But yeah. Anything else you want to say, bro?
Little Senku's adorable. He's probably legitimately, if I was to rank like my top 10 favorite characters of all time, Senku would probably be on there.
From hating him to loving him.
First couple chapters, man. I swear to God, like I need to go back and reread it and see if it's just like a perception I had, or if it is a real thing. But like I swear, when I first started the series, first 10 chapters, Senku came off as like a pretentious dick. I don't know if it may have just been my like newness bias, like, well, this is new and I don't like, I don't know.
It was pre-time skip.
Yeah, it very well may have been pre-time skip read. I don't know, but I've heard people say that. Like, David, I think, agrees with me that like early Dr. Stone's a bit weak, like first 10 chapters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. Because like in the early days, he reminded me of like your typical like the smart anime character, the adjusts glasses, like, well, actually, you know what I mean? And like if you don't make them quirky, they can come off as annoying. And he didn't really have his like I remember actively reading that series and getting to the part where he arrived in the village and like within a span of 5 chapters starting to love him. Like it was something about like his dynamic with the villagers. It just started to like click with me, and I was like, oh, he's actually awesome.
Yeah. So like,
so good.
I'm going to give this chapter A 9.
Bro, Thurman, I'm just gonna keep bringing it up till we do it. Are we cosplaying Senku and Gen? Yes, no.
Yeah, we are. Just
Not this year. Okay, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get your ass the whole ass wig, bro. You gotta go extra. You gotta get the wig. We gotta fucking. I'm gonna get Catherine to do the fucking like lines on your face. Like not. We're not doing some cheap ass Sharpie shit. No, we're gonna do professional makeup lines. Get the fucking wig because you know we gotta have people make sure recognize you, and that's a very recognizable character with the hair and the E equals MC square shit. I'm gonna get myself a bottle of Senku Cola. I'm gonna get a bottle of fucking like a glass bottle of Coke. We're gonna print off the Senku Cola label. I'm gonna wrap it around that shit. I'm doing the whole 9 yards.
Cause that means Albert's E equals MC squared.
But you're not smart enough to cosplay Senku.
I was referencing.
I know. I'm just.
Epigraph of history.
I just realized if anyone goes up to you and like wants you to like play be Senku for a bit, like I don't know if you can do it.
I'd be the taiju. I don't mind being taiju.
Just do the you just got. Oh, you know what? Here's your immediate out. You just got to say 10 billion%.
I don't think people are going to be expecting too much of a certain costume. But you never know. There's Smash. Let's lead us out there.
Bro, we should get you some beakers and shit.
Bro, if I ever cosplay as a character, like I hope I like never see like an elitist who's just like, you know, if you can't do this line from
you know I'm trolling, right? I'm super kidding. You know this, right?
I know that, but you know, bro, there's probably some people out there be like, if you can't 100%. Do this.
Oh yeah, Justin is actually my roommate. Is like he's really weird about cosplay. Like he said low effort cosplay cringes him out, and like he refuses to do it. Man, my throat is dying. He refuses to do a cosplay if he can't do it like perfectly, and I'm like, that's a really shitty mentality to have, Justin.
Bro, it's like as long as you're having fun, Garrett.
Yeah, exactly. Bro, we're doing it next year. Unless something comes along that like fucking really takes my interest. Not this year, but next year. I'm Gen. You're Senku. It's gonna be a beautiful moment.
Bro, I already have my cosplay for this year.
I said not this year, next year.
Oh, okay.
I'm locking it in. I'm reserving next year. You got to be Senku, and that'll be way better than the Mob Reagan, because Mob Reagan is, in retrospect, not at all recognizable.
I mean, only like 2 people recognize it, didn't we?
Yeah, but this will be way better because like when you fucking Sharpie E equals MC square on your fucking chest, like people are gonna be like, oh, I know that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
all right.
Final thoughts.
Oh, nothing. How about that?
Nothing. Fuck you, bitch.
Peace.
Peace.